Brian,
cool. Yep.
you have something on your forehead right there.
Oh yeah. What is it?
I don't know. It's been there for a while, and I just want to let you know.
I think it's been there since high school.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, I didn't have that. I didn't have this in high school. I actually had hair in high school.
Brian would always pull that crap on Julia in high school. You got something right there. So that's why she just did it to him. Background story. What is up, people? We are back with Stub Club Entertainment. Okay, so what up, guys? We are going to have a full discussion on the Marvel series that Disney Plus keeps being put out. And I want to put a thing out there to begin with. If you keep seeing me doing this and trying not to laugh, I had wisdom teeth surgery last week. Mm-hmm. So I don't care. I want to say that because people will be like, why does she keep touching her face? I just don't want to stretch it too much because I still got some stitches in there. I don't care. I'm just saying it.
It is my job to make her laugh and make those stitches fall out.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Does anyone want to start, or do you want me to start with a question?
You can start off with a question.
Okay. So I was actually thinking about this. You know how we've got our Marvel fans who are so like deep in this, and then you've got your occasional fans, and then people who are non-Marvel fans. So there's always a debate when people are not Marvel fans. They say it's too much. There's too many movies, too much to get involved with. And then when they don't know what's going on, it's so overwhelming for them. They almost don't want to get involved with it. Do you guys know what I mean?
Yes.
So now that they've added these TV shows, you have now all of these more additional hours that these people might have to devote to watching it. Of course, us as Marvel fans, we eat this up. But you've got your occasional viewers who might not always follow what's going on, or your non or brand new Marvel people that need to get involved in, they might feel like super overwhelmed. What do you guys think about this? So
here's the thing about Marvel. And this is actually the reason why I actually stopped really liking Star Wars for a while. It's because with Star Wars, it's no matter what, they're going to make money and they're going to be somewhat interesting to watch. But they're the same movie over and over again. The one that was the most interesting movie to watch was Rogue One. And that's because we didn't see anything about Jedi or Sith until the end when Darth Vader went crazy and killed a bunch of people. And that was cool to see because we've never seen Darth Vader go crazy. With Marvel, it's even though they're all still superhero movies and you know something's going to happen where there's going to be a big blow up at the end and it's going to be fun and a lot very jokey. People don't like that, but they're all different types of movies. Ant-Man is a heist film. Guardians of the Galaxy is the closest thing to Star Wars since Star Wars because they're talking about different aliens and different races and stuff like that, and they're flying around in a spaceship. The Avengers is basically, or at least the last two Avengers are basically war movies. They're all different types of genres that all fall under the superhero genre. So they're all the same movie, but they're all also extremely different.
I agree with that. It's not always something that's predictable. I don't know why this comes to mind, but I'm thinking Jurassic Park. I love Jurassic Park, don't get me wrong. I felt with the first three, they kept just redoing the same thing over and over of oh my God, we have to try to get off this island in Costa Rica. They're going to eat us. And I think people got sick of that. With Marvel, people who aren't really dedicated fans, they might think it's all the same. Oh, another superhero movie. That's what I hear from people who aren't dedicated Marvel fans. But it's true what Brian said is that they can bring different genres and they are capable of doing something new and different. WandaVision is a perfect example. When I started watching that, it did not feel like a genuinely Marvel, movie. it was something different, and it was fun, and it was interesting, and it was like a kind of like a, maybe you'd say like mystery where you have to figure things out over time. They know how to do things differently. So they're not just always, oh, another superhero movie. So, I mean, that's what I have to say about it. And WandaVision was just a perfect example. But same with some of the other movies in the past. They tell very different stories and they're not repetitive. So I think that's why they're good entertainment.
Mm-hmm. Do you think, though, by them adding all of these extra hours, because look how many hours you've added now from all three of these shows, do you think that's going to overwhelm people who aren't big Marvel fans? Like, say all of a sudden, like, well, I want to get back on track. I want to watch all this stuff in order. Do you think that people might think it's overwhelming of like how many hours now they have to watch?
I think I kind of think there's two spectrums. You're either all in or all out. Like, I've talked to people that have told me, oh yeah, I heard Falcon and Winter Soldier was put out, but I haven't watched yet. Or, oh, I watched, like, they're not in a rush. They're not really, dedicated to it and really involved. Us, over the years, every time like Captain America came out, another Iron Man, we're like, oh, we got to go opening weekend. I feel like there's just a huge spectrum. So I think when it comes to, oh, is this overwhelming people? I think the people who aren't really Marvel fans, they might say that. They're going to say, oh, now there's more hours and this and that. And they might not bother with it. But it's really hard to like be, I don't know if you want to say half-ass watch it, because you can't. I don't know.
So
yeah.
Well, with the way that I looked at it, WandaVision was very much, even though there's still the story with Wanda and Marvel and Vision and stuff like that, it was still basically a tribute to TV's past. You got to see everything that happened in the 50s or the 40s, 50s, 60s, all that stuff leading up to the modern era with the Modern Family episode. I can't remember which one that was. It's easier to get into that because it has a beginning and an end, instead of it being like Avengers Infinity War. You have to see what happens next because it's such a cliffhanger ending where if you don't go and see what happens, if you didn't like the movie, you're not going to see what happens next and see all the triumph that happens in Endgame. But because right now I'm watching the whole movie series with my girlfriend Nicole.
Mm-hmm. That's actually what sparked this question. I thought of how you guys are doing this right now.
She's into a lot of them. The one there's a couple that she didn't like, and like watching, I guess one of the best examples is Thor. Thor 1 and Thor 2 were, so everybody hates Thor 2. I actually think it's better than Thor 1. Controversy. They don't really, they're really not the best movies to say like, oh, you have to watch this universe. But if you're gonna watch the entire thing, you have to get through them. Mm-hmm. If you're going off of Thor 1 and Thor 2 or the Incredible Hulk, you're gonna be like, these movies are terrible. Why do people keep watching them? And the reason why is because at the end of Thor, you hear about Captain America. At the end of Thor 2, you see the Guardians of the Galaxy. At the end of the Incredible Hulk, you hear about the Avengers. So if you want to be dedicated to this, because Loki and Falcon and Winter Soldier, even though they can still kind of stand by themselves, because Loki is a different story altogether than what you've seen him in the movies, they're still connected very much so to the movies. WandaVision was different because, again, through it's a 9-episode series, so probably through like 4 or 5 of them, they're still going through history of TV.
You're right. WandaVision was the longest one out of all of these 3. Yes. I forgot about that.
How many episodes was that?
I think it was 9.
9?
Yeah. I think it was 9. Falcon Winter Soldier was 6, and then Loki was 6.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Loki is
probably 6. That's shorter.
Loki is probably the most important one out of the 3. And I'm not saying that because it is my favorite. It legitimately is probably one of my favorite TV shows of all time. It's because it does set up what's happening else in Phase 4 that's coming At the time of this recording, Black Widow came out last Friday. We're still not seeing what's going to happen with Phase 4. Loki's the one that's setting everything up. If you're trying to see if you like any of this, the best one to watch if you're a TV fan is WandaVision.
Mm-hmm.
I also just want to make one more comment about going off of Brian's comment of having to get through some of the movies like that maybe aren't as great as the others. There's actually been several I've never seen and I'm doing just fine. Like I didn't watch the first Thor movie until like way after I saw all of the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them, sure, maybe I was watching Avengers and I was like, oh, what do they mean by this reference? Because they brought in Loki, or different things like that. But I was able to catch on, and then you can kind of put things together, which is fun. So people who haven't, they think it's too much to watch all of them. I mean, just from my personal experience, I have not. I've watched most of them, but some of the ones like I've never seen. I've seen most of the first Thor. I've never seen Thor 2. But the way all the order is when you go through them, I think, there's certain ones where you don't miss too much. It depends. I just wanted
the most important thing out of Thor 2 was the end credits. There really wasn't too much more to Thor 2. The only reason why they made a Thor 2 is basically because they want to start introducing the Infinity Stones. They really couldn't get their hands on what they were doing with Captain America, because again, all you thought it was just basically a door with the Tesseract. Once they started doing Thor 2 is when they started really getting into the Infinity Stones and what Thanos really can do, and then they went more into it with Guardians of the Galaxy 1. There's movies that are super important to, I mean, they all have their importance in the universe of Marvel, but there's ones that are definitely way higher ranked of importance than there are like non-importance.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So what do you want to discuss next?
Oh, sorry. One more thing.
Oh,
it's to appreciate. This is what you appreciate about Marvel, is the fact that they're able to have all these movies and tie in all of, the storylines together, and that how long they were planning the whole thing with the Infinity Stones, and looking back, I didn't even realize at the end of, I mean, I know now, but I didn't know at the end of the first Avengers we saw Thanos, and I was like, oh my God, they've been like planning this for years, and the way they were able to carry out, it's something to appreciate. Something to appreciate about the series. And I guess I just wanted to say that, because for you saying people think it's like too many hours or too much to follow, I'm like, well, that's the fun of it. So yeah.
Here's my next question, because we are talking about the whole series and they had this stuff planned for 10 plus years. The first Iron Man came out in 2008. So technically the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been around for 13 years now. Even though they're talking about Marvel Studios having the 10-year anniversary when Infinity War came out. The only other shared universe that I can really think of that has been successful was the original Universal Monster series with Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman, all that stuff, and them all coming together. And I mean, continuity went out the door most of the time, where they didn't follow what happened in the other movies, but that's still a shared universe. What do you guys think is going to be, hopefully, the next most successful shared universe? Because DC basically said, hey, we blew our load way too early and killed Superman. So we're basically just done. We're done with everything because people just hate our movies. And we're just going to do solo films now. They tried doing another dark universe, which was try to reboot the Universal Monster movies, and that failed miserably. I really I don't know what could be the next universe.
That's a good question. I don't know.
If I had to pick it,
I'm not a Harry Potter fan and haven't watched them all, but that's technically done with, but not, because they might want to start still tagging off of I don't know if she's gonna be writing more books, because I know they started going into like the beasts,
The Fantastic Beasts.
the Fantastic Beasts.
Mm-hmm.
Harry Potter produces so much merchandise, it's insane.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Well, because all of those were interconnected and there was so many of them.
I just think, honestly, not to bring up Star Wars, but that thing's just going to keep going. Like, I know it's nothing new, but, you know, I know Brian probably likes The Mandalorian. Actually, I don't know if you do.
Oh, I love Mandalorian.
Oh,
Mandalorian.
yeah. But
Mandalorian.
I saw an episode of it and I was like, what's this crap? But again, I'm not a Star Wars. I have not religiously watched all of them through, but there's something about that where it's like, that's never going to die off. And
it's because of how their fans are too. It's not going to die off.
But the other thing with the Marvel, I mean, Brian probably has more intel and knowledge on this because he does research and knows all about the phases they're going through. It feels like we basically kind of ended an era in Marvel because Captain America, like, we're closing the chapter on this. That's why they're doing these phases, because what are they doing? This Eternals.
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 Basically, you're right. They've closed
like
the chapter on many of the ones they've been focusing on, and now they're digging into the other Marvel comics they have not touched upon, and they're going to open the doors to those. And I feel, with what Brian's saying, I really say a lot of it's going to have to deal within the superhero comic books, because there is so much literature, so much stuff over decades that has been written. And a lot of other stuff, like 50 Shades of Grey, we just have a couple books. Like, when you think about a lot of these big franchises, it's based off of books or things, and it only lasts a couple movies, or there's only a couple books. When you've got comic books, you've got so much stuff that you have can go into endless.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
So because what we're getting next, because Disney bought Fox, so they have they just announced Fantastic Four. That's coming no matter what happens. They still have the opportunity to introduce Wolverine, the X-Men, stuff like that. So there's still a lot of stuff they can do. This is going to be probably, if I had to guess, as long as they keep putting out box office mega hits. Like, I'm pretty sure Black Widow just broke the record just broke another record for attendance and ticket sales.
Wow.
That's what these Marvel movies are going to keep doing, especially when they introduce these X-Men, the Fantastic Four. They still have property they need to buy. That's because they don't own Namor, which is one of the original comics. They don't own Hulk to give him an actual Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. And they don't own Spider-Man. Now, Spider-Man is a little weird thing where they're letting other properties like Venom and stuff like that be in the universe.
Yeah.
What they're doing, the one that I would love to see continue, because that universe is so interesting and so fun to watch, would be the Lord of the Rings movies, the Tolkien universe. Because there is still a lot of stuff that hasn't been explored in the Tolkien universe, through the movies at least. And there's still a lot of stuff where it could, because here's the thing, even though I love all the Marvel movies, they don't stack up to, at least to me, the Lord of the Rings movies. I feel like the Lord of the Rings movies are almost perfect movies.
I've never seen any of them.
Horrible. Like, they're trying to make a universe with the Jurassic Park movies and the Jurassic World movies, which I think they failed miserably with Fallen Kingdom. I thought that movie was terrible.
You said that in the last movie. You're like, Fallen Kingdom was terrible, and Jennifer
Fallen
was like,
Kingdom was terrible. It was. It's literally. It's literally the end of it is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. So
let's try to get back on track here, because I know.
Go watch Jurassic Park movie reviews to hear about
the Marvel TV series. This is all good stuff. Julia, what did you have something that you wanted to bring up or ask us now?
I have more like comments.
Well, make your comments then.
I think that the Marvel TV shows are the best thing that they've done. After Endgame, it was like a depression because you're like, I can't say goodbye to these beloved characters. And that's the thing I'm struggling with when they're introducing and talking about these new phases. I have to get psyched and familiar and like get introduced to all these characters to get hooked with them. Like I was hooked with this other set.
We've got
And,
10 minutes left on this meeting.
When you think about it, Iron Man came out 2008. I was in middle school. I mean, I've grown up with these movies, all the years of seeing them in theaters. So I have like such an attachment on them. The fact that they started this year with these Marvel shows has extended the life of these characters for me. And like,
yay, Bucky!
Yes. And the great thing about it is that they're able to extend and provide so much Marvel content in them, because think about a regular Marvel movie. Well, we got like, let's just say 3 hours or something. The Marvel movies are pretty long, right? But when you put out these TV shows that are 6 episodes, or like WandaVision, that was more, you get so many more hours of runtime,
like close to 6 or 7 or
So
8 hours of stuff.
Yes, so you're getting so much more out of them, like more content, longer runtime than an actual movie. So I just wanted to make that comment about, I like the formatting. I like the fact that these streaming services that are now popular, I love that they're utilizing them and taking advantage of them to produce these Marvel shows that are just amazing. And they're like an extension after Endgame that we all needed after the emotional loss of Tony Stark.
Spoiler alert.
I don't feel good. I don't feel so good.
Where's Mike?
And he has not watched episode 6, so tonight we could not do a.
Oh, so Loki ended?
Yes.
Ended. Yes.
Was it a bombshell ending?
What?
Was it like a bombshell ending?
Yes.
I had wide eyes for like so long in the episode.
Watch it. So now the whole thing's available, and now I could just watch all of them.
Yes,
and I don't have to wait.
Mm-hmm.
Some people actually. That's actually a good thing to bring up, Julia. There are some people who did not like these Marvel shows getting put out week by week.
Yes,
I know a friend done so they can watch all of it.
I know a friend who waited until like all of Falcon and Winter Soldier came out, and then he just watched the whole entire thing on a Saturday. He like just watched every single episode, and he liked it that way. So it depends, but I do, when they only put one episode out at a time, it is frustrating because you're like, oh, I want to, when it ends, it's so good, like WandaVision, that you want to watch the next one. But at the same time, it created that suspense. So it's like, ooh, gotta wait.
But it's how all of us grew up watching normal TV. So we are used to that. All these other people who don't have a patience, oh my God, I can't wait 1 week.
Gen Z
dealt with it all of our life.
So, for me personally, it was, I like them going week by week, because with the old Marvel Netflix shows, they used to do it where it would be put out one after the other, and they would do just the whole streaming. For me, the only one that I actually binged to watch was Luke Cage, because Luke Cage was very good.
Never saw
the other one. It was so what kills me about these like MCU shows is that there were MCU shows before, like WandaVision and Falcon Winter Soldier, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't really tie in that well to the movies or anything like that, but they still were in the same universe. They would talk about the Avengers and stuff like that. Daredevil was awesome. Luke Cage was awesome. I heard Iron Fist sucked, and I never watched Jessica Jones.
Then you had Agent Carter that ABC had, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh yeah, I watched
They
like one season. Yeah.
they would, but like for the Netflix shows, they would put them all out at once, and then they would be like, "Hey, you can either binge watch these or you can stop whenever you want to." The way
Yeah.
that Disney Plus is doing it, here's the thing. I think Disney Plus both revolutionized and ruined the rest of all the streaming services, legitimately, because their interface is amazing, and we're not really quickly, we're not paid by Disney to say this stuff. It's true. Their interface is amazing. Um, they have basically anything and everything that you could want to watch. The only things they don't have are the rated R properties that they own, and that's probably coming soon. Um, I like the way that they do the weekly episodes. Mandalorian started it where Mandalorian was, well, Mandalorian was something different where, because for me at least, and Mike will probably be mad about this, they ruined Star Wars. This last trilogy ruined Star Wars for me. And then Mandalorian saved it for me.
Oh boy.
So wasn't it like Rise of Skywalker or something that was your favorite movie of all time?
No, Rise of Skywalker is the worst movie of all time. There's probably multiple movies that I could probably put there, but Rise of Skywalker is the worst movie of all time because of what it did. And I can go on a 20-minute rant about that, but I'm not going to.
That's funny.
Mandalorian saved Star Wars for me. The Marvel Disney Plus shows are doing the exact same thing, because for a year when we were all in quarantine and we couldn't go to the movies and they weren't releasing anything, we didn't have Marvel.
Right.
They didn't put out any Marvel. They had the old TV shows and the movies. We could rewatch those all the time, but we weren't getting anything different. When they put it out at the beginning of this year with WandaVision, we got something new, and something that was extremely unexpected, because they're basically traveling through time with TV.
Yes, and we have said this a billion times. I will say it again. When we watched the very first episode of WandaVision and saw the Marvel fanfare, we all like screamed and like jumped for joy. It was like, oh my God.
It was interesting when I went and saw Black Widow. It was almost cathartic for me because they did the Marvel fanfare at the beginning.
Did you cry?
I did. I there was a little bit of a tear, and I'm like,
because you said when we did the video I put out the other day that we recorded in May, you said, I think I'm gonna cry during Black Widow with the Marvel fanfare.
I want to go see it now on a big screen.
It was the most fun thing that I could watch. The movie was really good, and because we'll do a review for it coming up here soon. The movie was really good, but it was mostly just being in a theater again, watching a Marvel movie that made me so happy.
Because they also blast, like, it's loud and it's just a big screen and it's better than your TV.
So here's this. Where do you guys rank? We can do either the three by themselves or among the movies. Well, Julie hasn't seen Loki, so she can't really do that part.
I feel like though she can still at least rank if she liked WandaVision or Falcon better. She could still do that.
Because if I'm doing just a three, Loki's my favorite, and then it goes WandaVision, then Falcon Winter Soldier.
My favorite, without having watched Loki yet, WandaVision. It just impressed me so much, and I just loved it. And I mean, who can beat the whole Agatha all along segment? Nobody.
That was a good segment.
This one I've tried to figure out. I guess I would actually put in order the way they aired. For me, number 1 is WandaVision, number 2 is Falcon Winter Soldier, and third is Loki. It might be because of the experience we got with having something from Marvel that was so different than the movies. Because I feel like that could be a discussion in itself, honestly, because we weren't used to the format. Some people didn't know what to think episode to episode or minute by minute, because certain things that were being done have not been done with Marvel, or just there was it's just like the show in itself. And I feel like that experience really set the bar high. And what's super interesting is they were not going to have it be put first. Falcon and Winter Soldier was supposed to go first, then WandaVision. When Falcon Winter Soldier was being filmed, the pandemic happened when they were out of the country. And then all of a sudden they're like, shit, we got to get you guys back on planes and we need to get you home. And from there, they actually did a bunch of rewriting and refiguring stuff out. And they put WandaVision first. And I want to say it was Anthony Mackie. I don't think it was Sebastian. I want to say it was Anthony. He even said that he felt that WandaVision was the way to go to set this whole thing up because it's so different. You could even say Falcon Winter Soldier is very, very different from what we're used to in the movies because of how much backstory or details we got about characters that we haven't seen. So yeah, I will put those in that order. I've said in the first 3 Loki reviews I was not in 4 and 5 because my wisdom teeth surgery, that I've never been a big Thor fan. Yes, Ragnarok was good and entertaining, but I've just never been into that part of the MCU. Someone on a YouTuber I watched said, well, sometimes it has to deal with if it's a character you don't care about, sometimes you don't feel as deeply invested. And so for me, I didn't feel as deeply invested in Loki because I did not care much for him. You could maybe say that about, Wanda and Vision, but I felt like there was still something there. But the things that they were doing with Loki, though, were pretty incredible to set everything up. I will say that.
With the way that, I'm not going to spoil anything because, again, Julia hasn't watched it. When you look at it and you look at the TV shows, Falcon Winter Soldier is a completely different thing. If for me at least, Falcon Winter Soldier is probably the closest thing we have to a Marvel movie, especially the Captain.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, I would agree.
Falcon Winter or not WandaVision and Loki are basically 2 of the same show because they're both setting up for future movies and they're both setting up for. If you saw WandaVision, they're setting up for Doctor
Strange. Yeah.
They're setting up for Doctor Strange, which they kind of do here for Loki as well. They're setting stuff up. For Falcon Winter Soldier, all they're setting up for is the next Captain America movie, which, don't get me wrong, I'm super excited for. But with with the stakes for how WandaVision and Loki both set up for the next universe, not just one movie, they're setting up for a universe again. It gets me so excited because what we're going to see here is the fact that the next movie that has to do with after Loki is Spider-Man Far From Home. And all the speculation that's going around, we're going to see the original Spider-Man in this. We're going to see Andrew Garfield. We're going to see Tobey Maguire. And with what happened at the end of Loki, it's making it more possible.
Julia.
I'm so excited for Spider-Man.
They're making it more plausible that this is going to happen. We're going to get our own Spider-Verse movie, live action. Here's the thing. Into the Spider-Verse is probably the greatest animated movie I've ever seen. It's an amazing movie, an incredible comedy, great writing, and the animation's amazing. We could get an exact Spider-Verse movie, but that live action. We can get the old actors in this because of what Loki and WandaVision did. That's why those are in the top 2. Captain America or Falcon Winter Soldier does one movie, and that's Captain America. Mm-hmm. Falcon or WandaVision and Loki are doing an entire universe. They're doing an entire phase 4. That's what they're setting up for.
I actually really do agree with you on that, Brian. Looking at it at that perspective, I do agree with you. I think more of it's like Sam and Bucky, like.
No, I'm sure.
I just love them.
I'm still. Oh, sorry. No, I'm still stuck on the thought that now I really need to go watch Loki because
tomorrow's Friday.
Yes, I'm so excited for the new Spider-Man movie and the rumors of, oh, they're gonna bring back the originals from the other Spider-Man movies, and the fact that something in Loki at the end of it has to do with it. Like, okay, now I gotta watch it.
I guess this is a way too to explain it, Julia, without spoiling it.
Yeah.
You saw the part of, you know, the Flash where it's always Barry messes up the timeline.
Yes.
And in a way too, with Back to the Future, you can have the same person, so like Spider-Mans from different movies, and they can all be together. So like on Flash, it's always that there's like Earth 1, Earth 2, all this different stuff. So it's kind of like that they're gonna break the door open. It's not really spoiling it, it's just a thing, because you know that's what the name for multiverse with Doctor Strange is. But basically that's kind of
yeah. When is that movie supposed to come out? Not till 2022, right?
Yeah, 2022.
Because they're still filming.
It goes Black Widow, which just came out, which is awesome. That takes place that actually takes place right after Civil War. Shang-Chi.
It does.
Yeah. Shang-Chi, I believe, takes place.
Oh, all my theories might have gone out the window then. I kept thinking it was going to be like before. I didn't think it was going to be that late in the Marvel timeline that took place.
Yep, Civil War. Still good. It's still fun to watch, and it explains actually a lot of what happened before.
I thought this was like before, like.
I just blew both your minds.
I thought it was like before, like way when she was younger, and like before everything with her, like how she became
like her and Hawkeye or different. Like I have no clue if Jeremy Renner's in it, so don't spoil it. I even had theories.
They kind of talk about it. It's nothing, but it's something.
Wait. Is Jeremy Renner in Black Widow?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I also had a theory that Tony Stark was going to be in it because she was in Iron Man 2. God damn it!
Wait a minute.
So those theories are both thrown out the window.
Wait. What year was Iron Man 2? Like 2010?
Yes, 2010, 2011.
So she was in. Okay, so I just need to like think about this. Black Widow, like she was in Iron Man 2. That was the first time we saw her.
Yeah.
2011. So what year was Civil War?
Civil War was 2016.
I kept thinking it was like 2014 or something.
Wow, I need to like look this stuff up now because I'm like, I need to refresh my memory, but now I'm curious.
So Black Widow takes place right after Civil War. Shang-Chi, I believe, does take place after Endgame. I could be wrong. I'm not really into Shang-Chi yet.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done my research for Shang-Chi. And then the movie after that, which I think is really going to kick off Phase 4, even though Black Widow technically does, the movie that's going to get everybody excited for Phase 4 and get everybody into Phase 4 again is going to be Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah.
Because right after that, they're doing Doctor Strange, and then right after that, they're doing, I believe, the Eternals and stuff like that. It's going to keep going. It's going to keep getting more and more. I mean, I guess the word to use is strange, because they're going into different universes. They're doing different things.
We're getting Tom Holland back.
We're going through, basically what this is we're going to hell and back with these characters and seeing what we can get out of it.
Mm-hmm. And we've been through so much together, and now we're gonna have to experience more heartache and problems and weirdness. Oh man.
Yeah. The
emotional rock.
The next few TV shows are going to be She-Hulk, Miss Marvel.
That's not going to be for a very long time. Like nothing's even really talked about on that.
But they haven't talked about. They've announced who it's going to be, but they still have some stuff going on.
Hawkeye's the next one in late 2021.
Sorry, the cat's going crazy.
He's going to have his own TV show
with his daughter.
Yeah, Hawkeye. Well, actually, the next one is What If. It's the Marvel What If series.
Oh yeah, that's in August.
Yeah. There's the Marvel What If, which is like what if Captain America and all the Marvel superheroes turn into zombies and stuff like that.
That one's gonna be interesting. It's all
It is
animated. It's like a comic book animation too.
Then we have Hawkeye, She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, which is going to turn into the Marvels movie. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be happening, and I, for one, am super excited for it. If you haven't gotten on this bandwagon in the past 10 years, or you haven't even watched one, you're going to be behind on a lot. Which I fully support watching these movies. Nicole, who before said she can't stand these movies because she doesn't like all the action, actually likes a lot of these movies. She loves Guardians of the Galaxy.
Because she's now and she wants you to lick her.
As we get further into it, she's going to see a lot more really, really cool visuals like Doctor Strange. She's going to be seeing...
what are you guys at right now?
We are at Ant-Man.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I have never seen... Okay.
Well, no, I didn't actually saw Ant-Man this year.
Okay.
So you're not behind. I saw Ant-Man 2 at the drive-in, but I never saw the first one.
I need to watch Ant-Man, and I've never watched Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange I also watched this year.
Doctor Strange is amazing.
I know. I need to watch it.
Morning, Julia, there's some medical stuff that freaked me out. That's at the beginning because he's a surgeon, just letting you know. No one told me this, so I got freaked out and like, oh.
I mean, literally, Doctor Strange is actually probably, if I had to say, Doctor Strange is probably the most important movie. And the reason being is because not only does it introduce one of the most powerful entities in Marvel, which is the Sorcerer Supreme, which is what Doctor Strange becomes.
Mm-hmm.
He also, the ancient one. He also introduces the multiverse, because Ant-Man and Wasp introduced the quantum verse, which is basically just getting sucked into everything. The multiverse is everything else. Doctor Strange introduces that. Ant-Man and Doctor Strange are the two probably most important movies going into Phase 4. Doctor Strange introduces the multiverse, and then Ant-Man introduces the quantum verse. So there's a lot to look forward to. I can't wait. I think it's going to be... I don't know if... here's the thing, what I'm afraid of is that they're going to keep putting out major movie after major movie, that we're going to get bored with it. I don't think I'm going to, but it's going to be scary to see if they do get boring.
I will admit, I feel like they should have waited longer to put Loki out. I feel like these 3 TV shows were way too close together.
They were only like each like maybe a month or 2 apart.
Sometimes not even, like a couple weeks. And I know like the Marvel fan in us was like, yes, more content, but at the same time, it was almost like an overload.
Yeah.
I wish it would have been pushed back a little more.
I felt
like it mad, but that's what I think.
I felt like between WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier, I was ready for it. Like, I didn't feel like that was too close, but the reason I have not watched Loki yet is because I felt like it was way too soon after, there was a lot more content and a lot more things, lots of detail to follow in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Compared to WandaVision, that was more of, I'd say, an easier watch, where the other one with Falcon and Winter Soldier, there were some episodes we were confused. When we were doing reviews, we had to really like digest it and figure things out. And that's why Loki, I'm like, whoa, I need like a minute here to take in what's going on.
I think the only reason why they were put out one after the other was because last year nothing came out.
Yeah.
They already had 2 seasons in the pot with Mandalorian. That's why we got season 1 and season 2. With these, they had to stop production halfway through because of the pandemic. So they had to figure out ways to kind of make amends for it, because they're pushing everything out in 2021. And then I think they're going to get back to a regular schedule in 2022. Because
2022, it's an overload of movies.
I saw.
I think it's only 4 movies.
That's a lot. when you really think about it, that's a lot compared to other years.
When there's like one or maybe like
There's usually at least two.
They're trying to, because
they're trying to compensate of not having anything out. That's the other thing.
Well, they're compensating, but I think they're also trying to do where they had a plan to get these movies out and get the other phase going. So they're trying to get all these out now, and with the next couple of years, we're going to be getting a lot of movies. And I think then, for the next couple of years, we're probably getting an overload, and it might be I think it's going to be a little bit too much. I mean, not for me, because why would it be? With the next year, with the year after that, they're going to get back to doing like 2 to 3 releases a year, and then seeing what goes on with the series. I think the only one that technically got renewed for a series is Loki. I'm pretty sure WandaVision hasn't gotten anything yet.
WandaVision, I feel like has been very concretely made that it's not going to have a second season.
Yeah.
If anything, Falcon Winter Soldier has been kind of speculated because for the different award shows or different things, the way they've been categorizing it, that they're wondering if that could down the road get a season 2.
Well, I think what they're doing with it, because they're focused down now, we're just going to focus more on the movie for Captain America 4. The only one that's going to get a second season is Loki, and that's been confirmed. So I think what they're going to do now is they're just going to focus on Loki and see how Miss Marvel does, and they're going to see how She-Hulk does, and they're going to see how this What If series does, because now it's more along the lines, because everybody, here's the thing, if you're a Marvel fan, you knew that you were going to watch these shows. That was a given, and Disney knew that. They are now with what they're doing, where this What If show comes out, and She-Hulk and Miss Marvel, they're going to see who they can get that's new onto the bandwagon.
Yep, I agree. That's what they're doing too.
Because She-Hulk hasn't been seen. She's never even been mentioned. Miss Marvel, the only thing that you can really think of is Captain Marvel, but it's completely different. And this What If series is going to be like, so what if Black Panther was actually part of the Ravengers and Guardians of the Galaxy? That's one of the episodes, and you're going to be like, well, what was it actually like?
And what if Agent Carter got the serum and not Steve?
Yeah.
Captain Carter. And she has like a British flag on her shield.
That's
so you're gonna see new either one of the two is gonna happen. Either their viewership's gonna stay about the same because all it's watching is Marvel fans, or you're gonna see viewership skyrocket because they're gonna see new characters and new people are getting attached to these new characters.
So on that note, we're going to end this. I think this was honestly kind of fun, and we should maybe do this more often where it's just a strict, straight up, longer discussion video so we can just get stuff out there. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And join us next time. We will see you soon. Bye.
Adios.